Hello and welcome to the Rising Coaches podcast. I'm your host, Brian Bender, and today's episode is brought to you in part by one of our favorite sponsors, Connor Sports. Connor Sports is a world leader in sports services, the official floor of the Final Four and the Olympics. They do everything from NBA floors all the way to your high school rec center gym. ConnorSports.com. Visit them today to learn more and get yourself a new floor. Also, if you're not already a member of the largest coaching tree in basketball, visit RisingCoaches.com to sign up today. You'll build genuine relationships with other coaches, have access to amazing content that will allow you to develop your craft, expand your network, and see job opportunities on our member site that don't get posted anywhere else. For more information, visit risingcoaches.com. All right, today we have a special guest, good friend of mine, Coach Matt Hamilton from Hampton University, all the way in Virginia. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good. How's everything out your way?
Yeah, everything is good. I got a new scenery, new backdrop. I got myself a new job, so I'm the head coach now at Ellsworth Community College, wearing purple for the first time. I brought Jordan with me. He's still in the background of our podcast, but excited to be at a new place, but excited to get you on, man. Hear your story and learn a little bit more about you and your life and your basketball journey. So start us off first, man. Give us your background and how you got to where you are now.
Well, like I said, I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to do this. Rising Coach has been a big part since I've been a manager. So I'm an even transition to assistant now. But I started as a manager at Appalachian State. I was there for 3 years. Helping out with the staff there, doing everything. It was me and one other guy, Adam Muse, and we were allowed to do everything there, which was super beneficial to us. Helping with scouting reports, recruiting, player development, laundry, all that stuff. And then that's when I met you my senior year. That you and the new staff was coming in. I think I had a semester left of school, so it was either stay on as a manager or I had an opportunity to go be a volunteer D2 assistant about 20 minutes up the road at Lee's McRae College. And you were one of the ones that encouraged me. Like I said, you had an opportunity to go coach, and that's what we love to do. So I went and took that opportunity, and we won the most games in school history, won 15 games. So it was a lot of fun. I was 21 years older than me, but no, I loved every bit of it. And then had the opportunity to come here to Hampton as a graduate assistant. So came up here for a year, and Coach Joyner allowed me to be part of his staff. And then we had some staff changes that next year, and he felt like I did a good enough job to get bumped up to an assistant after that first year. And so I just finished year 6 as an assistant up here at Hampton.
Yeah, quite the journey. So talk a little bit about your experiences. You mentioned like a conversation we had. I actually remember it vividly of you sitting in my little cube office. It was like a little closet.
Yep.
Come a long way since then. We each got whiteboards in our office now, so that's how.
Yeah.
But no, we had that conversation, and I always tell guys, hey, if you want to coach, you got to go coach. And tell us a little bit about that journey of transitioning from a manager to a coach and what you kind of went through and why that was beneficial for you.
Yeah, and I think that has really stuck with me, and something I definitely tell people, whoever asks my advice is, if you want to do this, you got to make sacrifices sometimes. And if you love it, like I say, you can coach anywhere. It's basketball. It really doesn't matter what level, as long as you do what you love. And like I said, I think it's also about the kids at the end of the day, so helping out the kids. But no, like I said, I went to Lee's McRae, and the biggest thing was just the on court, the interacting with the guys, trying to build those relationships to obviously help them on the court, but off the court. It was good for me because I was young. I was just finishing up college. So I could relate to the guys a little bit more. But it was an experience that not only did coach allow me to do anything, but the guys kind of took me in, which is always hard as a younger coach. Sometimes you don't feel like you're trying to do too much. But if you build, it's the saying, if you they don't know how much you know until you show them how much you care. So, and that's kind of the track I took, is show them how much I care about their success on and off the court. And then, like I said, just getting to recruit, which is obviously always a big part. And that's kind of thing you told me about, is go coach and be able to go somewhere you can recruit, because that obviously helps the resume. So it was definitely a decision that was, amazing. I still look back at it to this day. Used to drive the buses down the mountains and up the mountains to games, and I got to be the head JV coach, so running my own practice and everything. So it was awesome. It was an awesome experience.
Yeah, anytime you can get reps coaching is important. Anytime you can get reps, especially the lower level you go, it's the more turnover you get as well with players. So like, JUCO level, you're signing, 10 to 12. D2, you're signing 8 to 10. D1, you might be signing 5 or 6 a year. So like you're almost doubling your amount of kids that are coming in and out of your program. And, at those littler levels, like sometimes it's harder to get kids. So you have to recruit more. And so you're looking at 60 kids at a time instead of 25.
Yeah, and we really got a chance to. It was me and Daniel Wong, who's at Catawba, and we got to experience everything. From budget wise, because you only have, it's like a salary cap sometimes at D2 where you got to recruit certain kids, but then also we kind of took the social media and ran with it and kind of got Lee's McRae a lot of pub during that time. So, like I said, just being able to wear every single hat, imagine strength and conditioning, recruiting, compliance, all that stuff. It's definitely an experience that, people have opportunities that lower level, quote unquote, definitely builds you more and makes you a more well-rounded coach.
Yeah, definitely. Dunk Mountain, you made it. You built your own brand.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, so tell me a little bit about, so your jump. You went from like a student coach slash assistant to a GA at Division I. How did that opportunity come about? Because there's a lot of guys that were managers or different guys that have dabbled in coaching at young ages. So getting a GA job, talk about how you came about that and kind of what you did specifically as a GA.
Yeah, so it was actually, I was thinking, I was volunteering at Lee's McRae at the time. So I was thinking, if I'm going to volunteer here, why don't I try to go D1 and, even volunteer or whatnot. So I literally emailed or reached out to every school that didn't have, ops, GA, whatever the case may be. And it was just like, hey, I'm willing to volunteer my time, try to get into that, space. And one of my coaches knew one of the coaches at Hampton, who they were actually looking for a GA at the time. So I ended up meeting with Coach Joyner in Charlotte, and he was just like, yeah, come on, like if you want something you want to do, you can come on and help us out. He was like, you can pick whatever title you want. So obviously I picked, director of ops. And I was really going up there with nothing, thinking I wasn't getting anything. He was able to look out for me with the GA position and a little bit stipend, but I was actually working third shift at Harris Teeter from about 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. stocking shelves to try to make ends meet. And then I would go home, maybe sleep for an hour, and we have practice at 6 a.m. in the fall. So I'm there, as a manager, I'm there an hour early, setting everything up. So it was a humbling experience, but coach allowed me, like I said, being more involved, more involved with game planning, with scouting, on court work and recruiting and budgeting. So all that stuff. So it was difficult, but like I said, if you want to make that sacrifice, you kind of do whatever you can to make ends meet to follow your dream and follow your passion.
Yeah, I think, the sacrifices we make in this business, I say it a lot, the business is not always great, but the profession is great. And sometimes you have to sacrifice and it comes out ahead for you, when you put in the time and you put in the work. And, there's a lot of guys that it doesn't happen for either. And they eventually end up getting out of coaching or, going into something that they necessarily didn't have that 100% drive for. But, you've been very fortunate.
Now, yeah, and real quick, and just because I saw this on Instagram this morning, someone put like, a job is how you make money, a career is how you make a living, but a passion is how you make a difference.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think, you, me, a lot of these people, that passion you have, really drives you to make a difference in people's lives, and like I said, that's what fuels us. So
Yeah, the passion part, that's one of my core values in my program, and I just believe in that wholeheartedly. Because if you know it, because if things are hard and you don't love it, it's not going to work. But if you love something enough, you don't care how hard it is, and you're able to overcome more adversity and many other things. So you've been at these places, and even though you've only been at 3 schools, you've kind of transitioned titles, and you've had multiple moves within the organization of levels of conferences. So you were at App, and they went from the SoCon to Sunbelt towards the end of your time. Then you were at least McRae Division Two, which is a different level. And then you go, were they in the MEAC, and then they went to Big
yeah,
South?
so
Correct?
my first 2 years we were to MEAC, and then we
Then
went to
we
the
went Big
Big
South.
South for 4 years, and
Now
now
you're
we're
going
going
where?
to the CAA. So
Okay. So now
moving up in the world.
you're like become a low major to like a low major plus to like a mid major now. How has that transition changed your perspective of levels, coaching, recruiting, or is it not really that much different? And people just it's a different title, a different league. So besides scouting, like tell me a little bit about how you've adjusted it in that because that's kind of unique.
Yeah, I think it changes a lot. Like I said, even going from the MEAC to the Big South, the a lot of people look down on the MEAC, but it was we had a lot of really talented teams, talented
Yeah.
coaches, players. It just was never getting that exposure. Then transition to the Big South where we basically had to learn everything new. And when you're in the league for so long, you know what every coach is going to do. So scouting is easy. So I
Yeah.
mean that first year we had to learn tendencies, all that stuff, and recruiting picked up a little bit, and but we kind of competed against the same schools. But now moving to the CAA, I guess that's the biggest difference is recruiting. We can recruit against anybody. Obviously, with the times and HBCUs being popular, now having that CAA where we're in a legit mid-major conference, people can get the best of both worlds of being an HBCU and CAA. But I guess it's just the recruiting battles, the having to do everything you can to recruit against other teams. And like I said, one thing we do, we're not going to ever down talk anybody. We're going to tell you the good and the bad, and just be ourselves. And a lot of people like it, and it's worked for us because we've been pretty successful with that. So
Definitely. So what's it like? So there's like different levels of obviously HBCU is kind of like oh, that's like the lowest major or whatnot. And there's been a little bit of shift in that. But you guys being in a mid major conference, but yet still HBCU, you got Tennessee State. I'm not sure if I'm missing other ones, but like,
I think
what's
A
it
and
like
T,
being, yeah, North
North
Carolina
Carolina
T.
State.
What's it like being, hey, one of the 3 highest levels of an HBCU?
It's good. Like I was actually talking to a kid the other day about it. Like I said, you get the best of both worlds. HBCU since I've been up here is the biggest takeaway I've taken is it's a real family. Within not only Hampton but just HBCUs in general. So like I say, you get the best of both worlds of playing in a mid-major conference and being an HBCU, and it's been good. I know a lot of people have you know gained interest. I mean, we just got a pretty big commitment today, so it was exciting to see how now it's starting to change a little bit, and people are looking at HBCUs, not just because it's you know a lower conference or they put the HBCUs in their own category, but now we're a mid major conference opponent. Just happened to be a HBCU.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. So, you're a white guy at a HBCU. We can just come out and say it. Very, very unique. Historically black college or university. And what has that experience been like for you? Like, I've only traveled because I've been at a little bit higher levels. Played one road game, and we actually played at Hampton we were at App. And the one thing I remember is our guys were like, "Coach, there's like 50 dancers in the behind the basket. Like what's going on? They were so distracting when we were shooting free throws. But tell us a little bit about the experience, not only culturally, but like, hey, what's that like for you on the daily?
It's been amazing. Like I said, I grew up in Charlotte, um, South Charlotte, so my parents did pretty well. And going to App, it's kind of its own little secluded space up on the mountain. So like going to Hampton has been, you know, changing, but in a good way. So I knew nothing about HBCUs or Hampton. I got up here and I was like, wow, this actually. The only stuff I knew was Michael Vick and Allen Iverson were from this area.
Yep.
Then I got up here and it's right on the beach. It's a beautiful area. But then just like I said, just the family atmosphere, and just like I said, we talk about games, like you were talking about the crowd. Everybody comes out. Like I said, with the dancers, with the band. The band is big with HBCU, so it's always a lot of fun environment, and just it's been good for me, obviously, because you see a different side, but being able to develop more as a person or as a leader, for myself, just seeing a different school and how traditions and everything work. It was and I'm trying to do the same for our guys. Like it was funny. This was a couple years ago. We were on I think a 5-game losing streak, and I was in the gym, and we had like a week off, so we had 5 days for our next game. And so I got the aux cord and I started playing country music. And I'm blaring country music, and the guys are coming in. They're like, "Man, what are we doing here?" And I told the one dude in the gym, I said, "I guarantee everybody that walks in this gym smiles." And I promise you not, every single guy that walked in that gym smiled or laughed that country music was playing. And we went on a 5-game winning streak and made it to won the regular season, made it to the conference championship game. So it was something that we all always look back on and joke about. But it's like being a part of HBCU has been, definitely life changing in a good way.
Yeah, you're an App State alum, just like the two big name country singers, Eric Church and Luke Combs is the other one, right?
Yeah, yep.
There you
We
go.
were
Yeah,
bumping
yeah.
that thing that week in practice.
That's awesome. Up the mountain, down the mountain, wherever.
Yep.
Well, that's a cool story. Like it's just a unique experience. Like obviously in basketball, it's you see a lot of things and you are able to bring people from many diverse backgrounds and play for one another and having each other's backs. It doesn't really matter. And culturally, like that's just an experience of your family. Like you said, your family, and you're bringing guys together with unique backgrounds, but you can get them to just have each other's back, and that doesn't happen in all aspects of life, especially in today's society and different things. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that you experience and that are different, and also like you said, life changing, make you
Yeah.
more diverse as a person, making you be able to be more relatable in many aspects.
Yeah, and that's
um,
why I think I tell people always try. I mean, experience HBC, whether it's homecoming. I tell recruits that all the time, and even friends and family that come. I mean, it's just it's an awesome experience. I'm glad it's finally getting some traction. But like I said, it's a spot that it's no different from another spot, and like I said, it's just a big family, and it's awesome to be a part of. So.
yeah. So going on your sixth, seventh year of coaching, what has kind of taken you the longest time to learn as a coach, as a younger assistant coach at the Division I level and even Division II level? Like, what things did you think you knew, and you kind of learned either the hard way or kind of have really evolved? Talk us through one of those experiences.
I think the biggest thing I would think about is just my emotions. I guess so I'm a competitor. I'm young like these guys, um, and we sit there all the time telling them to control their emotions, like focus on the next play. That's one thing that I've had to work on and be good because, like I said, if I'm emotional, and one of our players is emotional, then we're not getting anything done, in practice or um, in game. So I guess just controlling emotions as a young coach, being that fly on the wall, like and just listening to guys. I don't have all the answers. They don't have all the answers, but we're all working towards a common goal. So he said, as a young coach, you might come in thinking, you got to prove yourself, saying this, that, whatever. But it's really, if I could go back, I might listen even more because, the guys or other coaches, they'll tell you, what you need to know versus trying to, you know, make someone uncomfortable or do things the wrong way, I guess. So I think listening and then just emotions was one thing. And then, just basketball wise, I guess just recruiting, continuously recruiting. Like I said, I know this, it's nonstop. And like I said, I live about 3 minutes from the campus, so I'm the first one they call every time anything's going on. So I guess just like I said, we're here for these guys, like raising these guys. It's our responsibilities. So, we're here for them. So I guess those are some of the big things that I've taken.
Yeah, and so much of that you talk about, that's like your growth as a coach, but it's also your growth as a leader because I feel like, emotional intelligence is something that's become more prevalent in basketball and in leadership and in our society of understanding how to read other people's emotions and keeping them in check. But it's hard if you're not modeling the way yourself. And we go crazy at referees and we go crazy at, a guy for messing up and we're, mad, angry at them. And how do you think they're going to act? It's the same thing reciprocated is you want to model the way of controlling what you can control. And we talk a lot about in our program is, hey, what happens next can't be based on how you feel. Like, what's the next best action? How can we move forward? And like you were saying, it's like, it's not that you're right and I'm wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong. It's, hey, being on the same page to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. And that stuff takes time. It takes growth. It takes experience, and that's something that you're learning. And a lot of guys that hang out in those ops roles, GA ops roles, video coordinators, and then all of a sudden they're 30 and they're learning those things. Hey, you've already learned them with 8 years of experience. So like that's something that is going to help you tremendously long term as you get it. And you talked about the JV aspect of being a head coach. So talk a little bit about that, being a head coach. Not discrediting JV in any way, shape, or form, but you were able to stand up, call timeouts, make play calls, make decisions. Talk a little bit about your experience as a head coach at that level, or just being a head coach in general has helped you become a better assistant.
Oh yeah, it helps tremendously. I remember one of the first days. Like I said, this is me being young, so. And I think I ran them dudes into the ground with with sprints or whatnot. And one of the guys tweeted later that they showed me. It was like, man, coach tried to kill us today in practice. So I was like, oh, maybe I've arrived. But no, just being able to, like I said, handle situations, in games, because everything moves so quick. As you know, you got to be precise on when to call timeouts, who to make subs. Like how to talk, like I said, talk to different people. Everybody learns or, deals with things different. You might be able to yell at one guy, but, you got to talk to another dude differently. So I guess just working and learning that stuff, practice planning, actually sitting down and being the one that, they listen to, having that command of everything. That actually, helped me out a lot because Coach Joyner allows me to do a lot here with, kind of controlling, timeouts and drawing up plays and all that stuff. So, I was able to learn that year. And again, the best part, obviously you want to win every game, but it wasn't necessarily, life or death. So, I might drop a wrong play or do something different, but like I said, it's all learning experience. And I think it all goes back to what you said and we touched on is having that experience going out and coaching. Because like you said, the only way to actually learn that stuff is to do it. So it was something I'll always look back. And I mean, what they said, Hubert Davis was a JV coach at UNC, if I'm not mistaken. So like I said, and I'm sure he used that experience to help him this year. So it was definitely invaluable.
Yeah, that head coaching experience, you can't trade it for the world. Um, your background as a manager, I was a manager, you were a manager, then, GA, assistant coaches, part-time volunteer, you kind of done a lot of very similar things. There's a lot of younger guys in Rising Coaches. So talk a little bit about, I know you went to a clinic. I know you're a member, loyal member of Rising Coaches, but talk a little bit about like, hey, these manager, how does a manager be the best manager? How does a GA be the best GA? How did your foundation of those things help you become a better coach and help learn the intricacies of how college basketball really works?
I think a couple things. I think one of the biggest things is just being humble in your role. I mean, even now as a assistant, I we don't have managers here, unfortunately. I do the laundry. Our head coach does the laundry. So just being humble and doing your job, because every job matters. I've said it before. I think managers is one of the most important things to a program,
Right.
because they can do the little, like I said, if you don't have the laundry, you know, you're in trouble for practice or the game. So just something small as that. So just being humble and working and being able to, as a manager, you serve others. That's the biggest thing. So that was awesome for me to be that servant leader. And as I go along, I want to be a servant leader for anybody you come across. And as a manager, you get that experience tenfold, as long as you look at it that way, versus you know being down or not wanting to do something, or maybe being talked to some type of way. But at the end of the day, you're serving for a greater good, which has helped me tremendously. And then I think just being able to do the little things, listening and take everything. I think I tell people all the time. Told RGA, anytime you walk in the office or leave the office, I used to go by every coach and be like, "Hey, I'm here. If you need me, if you need anything, let me know." Or as I was leaving, "Hey, I'm going to class. Do you need anything?" Or, "Hey, I'm going home for a day. Do you need anything?" 9 times out of 10, they won't need something, but they see your willingness to help out. And then as you get more involved, "Hey, do you need anything? Hey, yeah, will you watch this film? Will you help this scouting report? Or we have this recruit coming along." So I guess just being available and making yourself known that you might not need something, um, but eventually, if you show your loyalty and your willingness to learn, I think most coaches are more adapt to allow managers to do a little bit more, which I was grateful. Coach Capel and his whole staff allowed me to do a lot.
Yeah, I think that's so important. But like you said, like you did well on those tasks. So even when you're a manager and I want to start coaching. Oh, I think I could deliver. You think one thing, but it's, hey, just master what you're doing or asked to do, and then keep asking for more. If you do a good job, you're obviously going to be trusted more. You're going to prove value. You're going to prove that do have some competencies in things that may provide value to the program, and that's what you have to do. Sometimes it is as simple as just doing the laundry,
Mm-hmm.
because there'll be days, one time a month in my last JUCO, you'd walk into the locker room, the guy's like, "Well, our stuff isn't dry." And it like completely dampers your whole, like, guys aren't changed before practice and you're stuck in a time frame, and like little things like that like are huge things. And taking pride in all those stuff is
Yeah,
extremely
yeah, and
important.
then I said, and like you said, not getting ahead of yourself. Like I had a certain role at Adam Muse. He was big with the film, so he would do a lot of the film work. And there's times I'd be like, I would like to do some and learn. And they were good about it, but that was Muse's role. Mine was more on the court and player development or whatever. So they said not to get down just because someone else is doing something else, but just being available and like you said, just starring. Everybody said star in your role.
Yep, exactly. So as we kind of wrap up here, is there any questions I should ask you that I haven't, or anything that you want to talk about, just for the Rising Coaches members, or just in general? Get it, talk about it.
That's a good question. I don't know. I think a Rising Coaches helped me a lot, obviously. I don't think I took as big of advantage as I should have, or even do now. Um, like I said, I'll always I went to it'd be 2012, 2013. I think it was 20 years old. Went out to Vegas. Um, Met Matt Daniels. I think we met at a camp. He's at North Alabama. I think running like the FCA program down there. And so we ended up rooming together. And I remember going. It was in Vegas. I remember going, and we went out to get like some food. I think Adam was there, Andy, and Matt, and someone else. And they're all getting food and drinks, and lady comes over. He's like, I was like, can I just get a water? And she's like, can I see your ID? I'm just getting a water. So I guess in Vegas you need to be 21 to be anywhere. So they made me leave the bar or whatever. But I was like, dang, like I had this opportunity to be, with Adam and Andy and stuff, kind of in a more intimate setting. But like I said, I think it's helped me, make a lot of connections. But I wish and I need to do more of this platform, listening to other people, because I was at the Jay Billis, coaches leadership program this summer, and actually it was Coach Kern from App who was talking about you hear you pretty much, and you can tell me what your thoughts are. You hear the same things over and over and over and over, and how to do things or whatnot. And his example was, because you're a father, his example was like, before you become a father, you'll hear, time flies, time goes by so fast with them, but until you're in that setting, you don't realize that. So it's the same thing, yeah, you might hear the same redundant thing over and over, but just, I guess, really grasping, what everybody's telling you, and then taking advantage. Like I said, everybody tells you you need to network and build genuine relationships. It's hard, I will say, in my opinion, because you're so focused on your season and stuff. But that's one thing I wish I would have done better at, is just really listening to the people that are giving you advice, even though it's the same thing I'll hear it from you, I'll hear it from Coach Kearns, Coach K. Everybody's got the same thing, and just really applying that. So I thought his little analogy was interesting, and like I said, you can tell me what your thoughts, because you are a father.
Yeah, I mean, it does fly. It goes really fast. The fact that she's almost 2 years old already is mind-boggling to me and my wife, and how fast she grows, because you see things every single day. And it's like you encourage your kids to talk, 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 and then they get to an age and you're like, stop, 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 no, no. It's unique to hear about growth, and hearing your story and reflecting on your growth as a leader. And you talk about listening, and you talk about how fast things go, and just trying to just be more present as human beings. I think is something that we get caught up in this rat race of, hey, who's getting this job? How can we get on with them? How can we, instead of just doing a really good job where you are 2 feet in, never make yourself number two. Like, you still got to take care of yourself and your growth and your health and your all these things. And Rising Coaches is provided that platform with the healthy coach motto, the mentorship program, don't being afraid to asking for help, trying to utilize your time in the best way possible, because games aren't necessarily won or lost in the office, but it's how you spend time. And if you can be efficient in some things and eliminate things in your life that distract you, then you could do more with what does matter and why we're doing what we do, and that's to be with people. Like you said, genuine relationships. Well, that's in our little, one paragraph. One of our core values is building relationships and community. Like, that's what this organization is about. That's what it provides for people. And it's, in essence, harmless with that, because it is, we're all on the same team. And you talk about Adam and Andy and, different guys. And like Andy and I, you'll laugh. The first thing I got when I got here on my desk, when I got it, was a note from Andy Farrell. And like, it's family. It's awesome. Like what was in the package, I'm not going to talk about, but no, no, he he sent me a really nice note, and it's just like, it's things like that that people have your back, that people love you, and it's hard in this profession because we all want to climb, 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 and then we look at other things that are going on in our game and in our society, and it's just hard to, keep everything in perspective. And I think
Yeah,
that people like yourself that do those things, it's going to pay off for you long term because you've done things the right way. You've invested in yourself, and you're going to continue to do so.
yeah. I think going back to being a manager, they say everybody wants to know, you know, the best, the highest coach or be in a relationship with him. But I think my best friends in the industry come from working camp. Like we like working. I think Clemson camp was always a big one. I know all the guys are from there, but Nick LaGrone or Austin Klontz or Muse, Hunter Henderson is at Wilmington. Like all these dudes, even though they might not be high major and can do stuff, but not burning bridges and just like you said, building genuine relationships. Some of them are some of my best friends just from working camp, not going out and trying to persuade the high major assistant or whatever. Like they just come from just hanging out and being genuine, and them guys will always be there. And they say because this business can get crazy at times. So just staying loyal, and everything will, like you said, work out how it should be. And even me and you, I mean, like I said, I was meeting you going back in the day at App. Like I had no idea who you were and what you could do for me. But you helped me more than you could probably even imagine, just from giving me that little advice of going to coach and staying in touch over the years. Even though we might not talk every week, every month, like you can always pick up the phone and be there for each other. So
Yep. And that's what the profession needs, and that's what you've done. And like you said, like I try and do that and be a resource for everybody, and utilize the platform to teach and learn to make us better instead of tearing each other down. We try and build each other up. And at the end of the day, like it's silly, man. I got this job and I had like 1,200 text messages. It's like, what are we doing? We coach basketball. Like I get it. Like about 1,000 of them were like, hey, really happy for you, excited for you to get closer to home, blah blah blah. About 100, what's happening with your job there? Is Coach Corey going to get the job? Or, who's going to get it? Can you help me get it? Like, and then the other 100, like, can I work for you? What are you doing? Your assistant's there. What, like, it's crazy. It's crazy, what that's like. And it's overwhelming at times. But at the same time, like, keep it in, keep it real with guys. And I think over time, those genuine relationships just keep helping people, keep serving others. And you're going to end up, getting out of it what you want. So, is there anything else you want to talk about on our way out, or what's the best thing that can happen in your life right now, Coach Matt Hamilton, Matty Ice, they call you? What's the best
yeah,
thing that can happen in your life right now?
the best thing.
Yep.
Well, my brother gets married in a couple weeks, so that's exciting. One of my little brothers. I guess we're playing Bethpage Black, which is like from the U.S. Open course.
There you
So
go.
I guess to not lose that many golf balls when I play out there. But no, I think for real right now it's just like I said, I've been through this and through the ups and downs and learning experience. It really is, serving others. I get more joy out of helping our guys do something and than me sometimes. Which, like you touched on, it might not be the best thing all the time, but it's something that we're in this business for to help each other. So
Yep.
I guess just seeing someone else succeed, and obviously if they succeed, then hopefully that will help me succeed.
100%, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, sharing your story, and keep working hard, keep doing things the right way. And I would say your behaviors come before your success. So just keep grinding away at it, keep treating people the right way, keep serving others, keep developing as a leader, and you got to keep doing more clinics with rising coaches. We got to expand your library and your network and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we got to. And I appreciate you having me. This is an awesome experience, and like I said, Rising Coaches is doing a lot for a lot of people. Like I said, they just got to take advantage of it and make yourself uncomfortable. Put yourself out there to help yourself grow. So
there you go. All good things. Matt Hamilton, Hampton University. Thanks.